Sports Day is brought to you by Barton Community College. Explore your future and get started now. Visit gobarton.com.
Okay, Sports Day in 3, 2, 1.
Down to the final 5 games of the first half of the season for Barton Community College at home Wednesday night against Independence. Both teams coming away with double-figure wins.
First of all, give all the credit to Butler and Coach Mahler. They did an excellent job of executing the game plan.
They're good. Their record isn't as good as what you'd think. They've lost a couple of close games, but they're capable of really giving us a lot of problems because they post their guards. They do some things that we haven't really been great at guarding yet.
It'd be big time, just from the fact that we've been working for this for 11 months now, and really 12 now that we're in December. We set out for this goal, to accomplish this goal back in January.
You know, we're definitely going to remember the fact that we didn't score any points in that second half. I feel like we kind of left some things out there, and I think TCU is a really good team, but I think that was a game that we kind of let slip away from us a little.
We have to go out and just embrace it, enjoy it, live it, and not worry about what comes after, whether it's good, bad, and different.
Down inside, spins, can't work, throws it outside of Hood Shafino. Now to Xavier. X with the basketball. X slides into the lane, little runner is good!
Blue wants to push here, a 5-on-3. Into the corner, 3 on the way. Brandon Newman in transition. A triple for B. Newman.
And welcome to Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM, the talk of the town. It's a 3-man program that we have today. Not very often have we had a 3-man program here lately, but we do now. Steve Webster with you here on this Thursday, joined by Mike Corson and Mike Hesher, who's a man that they were people they were overrunning the walls and everybody got out except Hesh. He was left to man the gates by himself. And a fine job you did, sir.
I tell you what, doing sounds of the past 24 hours is a little bit tricky when it's a monologue. So it's like, okay, I don't have anybody to bounce questions off of, so I just had to talk.
So you had sounds of the past 24 hours that were an hour long?
I made them last 10 or 11 minutes. And I did
sounds of the last year. It's our New Year's programming starting now.
Well, top 25 of 2022.
There was a couple, yeah. We made it work. We got it done.
Okay, yeah, everything's... I'm out of vacation days.
Yes! Sorry.
Hesh is here all the time. You don't have any vacation days. And Mike Corson is back from the disabled list. Just a big happy family here today. The high school basketball season starts tomorrow, too, so, by the way.
It's a little chaotic around here today.
You think so?
Yeah, just a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, okay.
We'll get through it. Somebody's already said,
call the show today and then hear the phone ring, you can do that.
What are you doing there, Webby? You're not supposed to be there. That was...
Oh, is that right? Okay.
That was your text, I guess.
Oh, probably.
Okay, sorry.
Oh, sorry. It's just the way it goes. And I'm going to work a whole month now.
Oh, poor baby. Well, you get off Monday after Christmas.
Well, that's true.
Okay.
That's true. I'll probably come in and work.
But you said last week you have not worked a full week since, like, Labor Day.
Oh, legally?
Well, I understand that. But
why are you such a bitter man?
Yes. You hear people say, I got to have something to do. I got to work. I mean, granted I was sick, but I can fill some hours in a day on my own.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay.
Well, you're coming in the day after Christmas. Well,
there's stuff to do, man. You got to.
I did work on Thanksgiving, so.
It's because you were so sick, no one else wanted to be around.
Well, no.
All right, sounds the past 24 hours or so. Cole Reif had the call last night on B1043. The point couple of Barton wins. Barton women just pounded Independence 88-58. Had a 20-point lead at the end of the first quarter. So, all right, nice job of bounce back after their first loss of the season. Barton men beating Independence 100-81. Kind of got off to a slow start, got rolling, especially in the second half. So, Barton, they're in action Saturday afternoon. They go to Coffeyville, both teams nationally ranked. Jerome Tang, deep within the bowels of Hinkle Fieldhouse, where He was talking about give credit to Butler last night as Butler takes down Kansas State. First loss of the season for the Wildcats, 76-64. Manny Bates, 22 points, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks. Butler got out to a 25-12 lead that led 37-25 at the break. K-State got back within 8 with 4:08 remaining, but a 15-3 run takes K-State out of it. So now it's going to be Wichita State coming to Manhattan on Saturday. The Shockers losing in overtime on Tuesday night to Missouri. Or Wednesday night sometime this week. Wednesday, Tuesday, today's Thursday. It was Tuesday night. They lost at home to the Missouri Tigers. So good game. Wichita State, K-State coming up this weekend. Tonight in Lawrence, Kansas Jayhawks jump into the Big 12 Big East Challenge. They'll host the 9th-ranked Hawks. Or the 9th-ranked Hawks host Seton Hall. They're the Pirates. They're just 4-3. Bill Self knows his shorthanded team will have to be ready for a fight. Big man Cam Martin, redshirt freshman guard Kyle Cuff, they remain out. Also out expected Bobby Pettiford. That hurts. I really like him. He got hurt last year, and now he's hurt again, and both expected to miss the game. Kevin McCullough Jr. also out with hamstring and groin injuries. Deuce Vaughn getting ready for the K-State TCU game Saturday in Arlington. We'll have it for you here on KVGB starting at 10 with pregame coverage from ESPN. Ready to go for the game against TCU, and Will Howard be looking not only to seek the Big 12 championship, but get revenge for that loss to the Horned Frogs earlier this season. Cats blowing a 28-10 first-half lead. Looked like it's going to be a rout, and then TCU coming back and winning the football game.
Game day's going to be there. It's going to be a big time. So that's 2 times this year game day has covered Kansas schools. That's got to be a first.
Well, where Kansas was involved, yeah. University of Kansas was involved. So what do you think? I flip a coin. Even if K-State wins, I think, and it's a close game, TCU should still go to the Final Four. But behind brand names are there. Alabama, Ohio State, and they don't even have to play. It's not right, Mike.
They were saying over the weekend, a few years ago, TCU was undefeated, blows out Iowa State in their last game of the season, and they still overlooked them. Seems like this year they already want an excuse to kick them out. So I think the board is wanting K-State to win that game so they can let in the Blue Bloods.
Of course. The networks.
Dan Mullen said yesterday on Sports Day, as he was, it was a.
You had Dan Mullen in.
I had Dan. He called in. He called in to talk to me. Yes, no, he was on Keyshawn, Jay Will, and Max. Yes, and he said the same thing you're doing. He thinks TCU can take a small loss, a close loss, and still survive. But if it goes, it's not. It's got to be pretty close.
But wouldn't the NCAA, where we're most of the nation tired of Ohio State, Alabama, Clemson? Texas is still a football powerhouse. How is it not good for their market to have a Texas school in there?
Is this actually NCAA?
Well, you're talking the Horned Frogs. I mean, it's Texas Christian. Okay, we're talking
about. You might be onto something
one
there.
of them private schools down there in Texas. Yeah, I don't. Texas.
Just to have new blood, I would want TCU in there, but go Cats.
18 playoff, maybe more coming down the pipe.
Like next 24 is what I was hearing.
Yes, that'd be nice.
Yeah. Okay.
I never thought we'd have playoffs. Then we got, where they had a national championship game, then they added to 4.
What's funny is people, maybe they realize they don't. When you pick the top 2, the argument is always over who the 3-4 is. So now it's the 5-6 argument. When you move the field to 8 or 12 teams, you're still going to have a debate over who the number 13 is.
No, they don't have a debate over who gets in, the top 68 or the top 69 basketball teams, do they?
Everybody gets a pass.
Tim Ream, who's he?
United States men's soccer team.
Look at you boys.
Did you have a chance to watch it on Tuesday? That last 30 minutes.
No.
Okay. Oh man, it was riveting.
10 minutes.
I mean, it was like, well, I saw the last 25, I guess.
I did not get to watch it. What was I doing Tuesday?
You were probably working.
Oh yeah, I was on the road yesterday. They didn't have the network broadcast.
Yesterday was Wednesday.
Yeah, I was on the road yesterday. Never mind.
But you set the stage for that. Anybody who watches soccer...
I don't even know what day it is, man, okay? Yeah, you can tell.
There. Anybody who watches soccer, 4 to 5 minutes stoppage time. This World Cup, we've seen 7, 8, 9 routinely.
Not 10 minutes.
How do you know that it's 10 minutes?
Exactly. You don't. They just were predicting it. U.S. has to hold this 1-0 lead, and the announcers are saying we've seen some crazy times that pops up with the 9, and they just started chuckling and like, here we go. And you knew it was going to come down to the last 30 seconds. U.S. had the chance to dribble it into the corner.
And the guy didn't.
Amateur. So I'm glad the commentators called him out for it. And if they would have scored off the coming back the other way in those final 30, it would have been...
So you're telling me it was an extremely exciting 1-0 game.
Well, and I had this chat with Minnie over the weekend was, how do you not think this is exciting? It's the buildup over and over. That last 9 minutes, Iran almost scored about, 6 times? One gets through the keeper's legs, spinning back there, and the defender's able to clear it. That's edge of your seat. Yesterday, you had 2 games going simultaneously.
That was cool yesterday, yeah.
All 4 teams alive. You had a big margin in there, but it was 2-0 here, 2-0 here, 0. And it came down to the 5th tiebreaker, which was how many yellow and red cards Mexico had accumulated. So now you got the one guys... they're going to have to play a clean game even though they're down 2-0. Do not get another yellow card. This could cost us.
Wow. And what happens? How do you get a yellow card? By the discretion of
the official.
Of a crooked FIFA official?
Don't put it in their hands. But the one game ended about 2 or 3 minutes ahead of the other, so Mexico still had a chance to score one more goal and change the whole dynamic after the other game ended. It brilliant TV right there.
And that was the game where they actually took a goal away from Mexico, right? Because the guy was offsides. He was like fractionally offsides.
Like they did Mr. Weah?
Yes. Okay, Webby's about to go to sleep on us.
Go ahead, my mic's off. Continue our FIFA discussion here. Go ahead.
So if you missed the game Tuesday, and this is what the whole Dan Patrick show was yesterday, do you take a shot to that area of your body to score the lone goal, or do you give up the assist with pain-free?
I prefer pain-free.
There's a lot of glory in passing. But it's like they said, it's remarkable. You score a goal that's that big, biggest of your career probably, and you can't get up and celebrate. Most of the time, even if you're hurting, you'll get up and celebrate. No celebrating that goal. He was on the ground. It's good stuff.
Call on WHCC as Xavier Johnson makes a jump shot in the second half. Indiana beat 18th-ranked North Carolina 77-65. North Carolina's dropped 3 games in a row.
So they can...
And Purdue, the call on WAZY. Brandon Newman makes a 3-point shot, assisted by Ethan Morton in the first half. Number 5, Purdue beating Florida State with a score of 79-69.
Anybody catch the Iowa State girls this weekend?
No, I did not.
Topsy-turvy.
How did Emily Ryan do?
Fairly well. They were up 17 points in the second half and ended up losing to North Carolina in the championship.
She had 17 points in the second half?
No, Iowa State was ahead the whole game.
Oh, okay.
A few minutes left to go.
I guess we're on our own, Mike.
We got hijacked by that pirate he mentioned earlier. Seton Hall over here.
I don't have anything. Not after those headlines. We're going to take a break. We're going to come back. We'll talk Panther basketball coming up with Kyle Kreigh is going to be in here on the program. Also, Carter Coombs. His pop's going to be on the show tomorrow. So we'll have, father-son or son-father action here on the program. Kris Klieman from the Big 12 championship game. And maybe some other things like high school basketball getting started. All coming up here on the Thursday Sports Day Show. Learn the skills you need to get started in a new career in as little as 1 semester with Barton Community College's workforce training programs. Get real-world experience in fields like carpentry, natural gas, plumbing, scales tech, and welding. You can earn money while you go to school because most classes leave you with plenty of time for a part-time job or apprenticeship. Classes begin January 10th. Sign up today and start your new career. Visit GoBarton.com to get started.
If you need physical therapy, consider Advanced Therapy in Great Bend and Progressive Therapy in Larned and Hayes.
Hello, this is Austin Alford.
I'd like to introduce to you today one of the most popular pieces of equipment we have to train core strength, shoulder stability, core stability, and even to improve balance. Come check out the core sticks for yourself at Progressive Physical Therapy Center in Hayes.
You don't need to hurt. Physical therapy can help. Call Advanced or Progressive Therapy and Sports Medicine to explore your treatment options and get your life back. Tree sale, tree sale, tree sale, now at Northview Nursery. The treetops have all gone to sleep for the winter, but the ground is still warm and the roots are still growing. So now is a great time for planting and saving. All in-stock trees at Northview are now 25% off cash and carry, or have Northview Nursery professionally plant them for you and save 30% off your new trees. So now's the time to plant a tree and save at Northview Nursery and Landscape, North Highway 281, Great Bend.
Merry Christmas from Superior Essex in Hoisington. Superior Essex is growing, expanding, thriving. Come join the team. Work in a safe, clean, and climate-controlled workspace. Superior Essex is hiring skilled machine operators. Earn up to $24 an hour, plus a sign-on bonus up to $5,000 and a competitive benefits package including Blue Cross Blue Shield, Delta Dental, 401k with company match, vacation, and holiday pay. Apply at any Kansas Works office or at superioressex.com. Merry Christmas from Superior Essex.
A $10,000 shopping spree will be given away on December 16th with the Shop at Home for the Holidays $10,000 shopping spree presented by Bauer Computers and Mater Plumbing, Heating and Air, your Bryant dealer. Today you can qualify at Just Say It Though at 19th and Washington in Great Bend. Stop by before 5 o'clock today, scan the QR code, and get yourself qualified. Just Say It Though is a unique gift shop offering handcrafted gifts, decor, cards, and more. It's a great time to mark things off your Christmas list, so whether you're getting something for yourself or for others, you can visit with Kristen while you're browsing the store today and find a personalized, one-of-a-kind gift just in time for Christmas. Kristen also just finished with Christmas ornaments, so be sure to check those out, as well as other holiday decor. Stop by before 5 o'clock today, scan the QR code, and get yourself registered for the Shop at Home for the Holidays $10,000 shopping spree at Just Say It Though at 19th and Washington in Great Bend before 5 o'clock. Presented by Bauer Computers and Mater Plumbing, Heating and Air, your Bryant dealer.
It's time to talk Great Bend High School basketball with head coach Kyle Kreigh on Sports Day.
Welcome back, Sports Day here on KVGB. High school basketball season getting underway. Well, today for some teams across the state. Tomorrow for the Great Bend Panthers, they'll be in Junction City at the brand spanking new Junction City High School. And join us, give us a preview on that, Kyle Kreigh, head coach of the Great Bend Panthers. Also in with us, junior Carter Coombs. Carter, welcome into the program today.
Thanks for
Good to have you, Kyle. And, well, how do you feel here? Getting ready to go. Season number 2. Get underway.
I think we've been excited, not only since the season started, but since this summer. There's definitely a buzz with Great Bend basketball. So, today's our 14th practice. Thankfully, we get to play a game tomorrow. I know the guys are eager to go. Junction City's going to be tough, so we'll kind of see what we're made of tomorrow.
Interesting makeup for your team this year, but seeing team practice out there, I'll tell you what, you did some work in the weight room this year.
Yeah,
Man.
Yeah, that's that's the exciting part. The things that Coach Beck and all the other PE teachers do out there in the weight room definitely benefit the basketball team. I think we had 16 or 17 guys make over 95% that are on the basketball team. So that's a tribute to the other coaches and the kids and kind of buying into the weight room.
And you've got some kids that play multiple sports. That's always good.
Yeah, and that's definitely an emphasis of mine. We want the guys to be part of Great Bend athletics, whether it's football, cross country, baseball, track, soccer. We got a lot of guys that are doing a lot of different athletics and activities. So that's a good thing.
Let's talk about the makeup of your team this year, because you do have, you've got some veterans and you've got a lot of Cubs and you've got some guys right there in the middle. It's going to be fun to see this group out there.
Yeah, and it's been a lot of fun to coach. And we've got, guys like Carter that have been, part of varsity basketball since they were freshmen. We've got Sharman back. We got Tyler, who transferred over from Ellenwood, who's played varsity basketball probably since he was a freshman as well. We've got a great group of juniors. Our freshman class, we got a couple guys that we feel like that might be able to contribute in varsity games. So, we got guys that can play basketball that are freshmen through seniors.
Talk about competition, because I kind of talked to you, you know, how are you going to figure out a rotation with this group? You've got some guys out there battling every day. You got a lot of depth, it looks like.
Yeah, and those guys are trying to prove themselves in practice. And like I said, it doesn't matter if they're a senior or a freshman. If they can play basketball, we're going to give them a chance. So these 13 practices have been super competitive, but it all kind of started this summer. You know, having those incoming freshmen be there with our varsity guys and kind of experience what our program's all about has been good. And we have a good idea of a rotation, and kind of our top 12 guys have been practicing together. So, I mean, as far as rotation, some of that will come with game experience and who's healthy and who's available on those nights. So we'll get all that figured out.
Kyle Kreigh with us, also Carter Coombs in studio with us today. His dad's going to be on the show tomorrow, Carter, so this is your chance, show up your dad just here a little bit. But great to have you in here. Talk about you going into your junior season, and as Coach mentioned, you've been part of this since your freshman campaign. How does it feel different for you as you get ready to go here in your junior campaign for the Panthers?
No, I'm just excited.
Yeah, move up on that mic there. There you go.
Just excited to get going. Big season. Last year didn't really go as well. Didn't win as enough, but I'm excited this year.
What have you seen from practices so far? With you seeing that competitiveness?
Practice has been really competitive. Guys are competing. Like freshmen competing with the upperclassmen is big. Ian and Jacob stepping up big roles this year as freshmen.
As for yourself, what did you really work on during the summer that you look back on? And of course, you've got a coach and a family too. It's right there at the house with you. But some things that you really wanted to focus on to improve your game this year.
Really, just working on like game speed moves, getting to the basket, getting stronger, quicker, faster.
Got you get the free throw line as much as you wanted to last year?
Not really. I need to get there more.
Okay. Tell me how you. Because you basically grew up, in Clay Center? Chanute, yeah. And then all of a sudden, okay, we're headed out to Great Bend. You're trying to work your way into a new school, work your way into a new program. Tell me how that went and how tough it was, man. That's a tough time to move when you're in high school.
Yeah, it was actually pretty easy. Maddox, he's a big part. He really helped me, brought me in, taught me a lot of stuff about Great Bend. And Coach Kreigh gave me an opportunity to play right away. It's great.
As you see this team, you mentioned, what are some areas that team-wise you feel can improve with this club this year?
I think this year we'll be able to play faster and play really up pace, get up in people, play good D.
Okay. You agree with that, Coach? I mean, you're shaking your head there?
Yeah, I mean, I think, and we've talked about this a little bit at practice, I think just as far as like the flow of practice and the pace and like understanding how to run our offenses. If we run a set play, then we're kind of like moving into our motion offense without having to call another play. So I think just the pace and the guys kind of understanding like what the expectations are. And then he talks about defense. We've got to be better on defense. Some of that comes within. And then, within the past week or so, I think those guys have heard me talk about boxing out probably more than they want to.
So much.
You were a pretty good rebounding team last year, though.
Yeah, but we lose a lot on the inside. Losing Steph. Having a 6'4", 6'5" guy. Both Matthew being injured until after the break and losing Joseph, so we lose quite a bit on the inside. But we'll have guys step up. I think Tyler's a stud rebounder without a doubt. Ian as a freshman kind of has like some of those intangibles that you don't necessarily have to coach. He's always moving. He's pretty good at reading the ball when it's in its flight and reading it off the rim. Jacob, super tough. Isaiah might get a chance, and he's naturally a good rebounder. Ben Nicholson's going to be a sophomore now. He's 6'2.5", but wants to tell everybody he's 6'4". So we got to get.
Braylon can really rebound too.
Yeah,
really
and
athletic.
we talk about that a lot. It doesn't necessarily matter how tall you are, but sometimes it comes down to heart. So there was probably a few games last year where Braylon was our leading rebounder at. We'll say he's 5'10".
Okay.
So
With Would you describe yourself as being a big team? I don't think you're small, but you've got good general size.
Yeah, we got some size, and it seems like a lot of our size is maybe in that freshman and sophomore class. But we got a lot of good guards, so I actually had some conversations yesterday with some guys that you can't take the court with 5 guards and expect to compete at the 5A, 6A level. So maybe some of those guys will come off the bench, but it's not a knock to them by any means. And they may get their chance at some point. But, yeah, I mean, our guards, I would say that's kind of our strength, and we're trying to improve what we do on the inside. But with that being said, I think we're always going to be like an inside-out type team. We want to get some post touches. We're not necessarily just going to dribble down and chuck up a bunch of threes if we're not open. So we still want to get some post entries and play off of that.
Teams change, obviously, and what kind of changes did you make this year on offense and maybe defense to fit this group a little bit?
We're going to try to maybe, and we've input a little bit of the Princeton offense, maybe some looks off of that. So maybe it's a more like a 4-out, one-in look. And Carter kind of talked about just pushing the ball in transition. We've got some speed. We've got some athletes. Having Sharman come back, he's probably more of a guard, but with his strength and our lack of size, he's going to play in the post. So if he's not getting a rebound, surely he can get out and run in transition. We can get some easy buckets. So we do a lot of fast pace, like in-your-face type drills, and defensively, we kind of want to play with that same tempo.
Matthew Mater, he was running the clock the other day in practice. Just wanted to stay contributing and talk about what happened to him and when hopefully maybe we can see him back in a Panther basketball uniform this year.
Yeah, that's, as a basketball coach and a guy that coached football, I try not to think about, once they get towards the end of football season, whether or not those guys are going to get hurt. But, every time there is an injury, I kind of hold my breath and I kind of look and try to see who it is. And I knew right away it was Matthew on that kickoff. But he's got some mental toughness and some things that it takes to battle through injuries. He's doing PT. He stays in contact. He's always at practice. And not only is he running the clock, but he's also over there yelling at the guys. And that's kind of what we miss in having Matthew, is like the communication part of everything. So he'll be back, and hopefully he'll be stronger than he was before.
Carter Coombs with us. Carter, do you see your role changing as far as leadership goes as now you go into a grizzled veteran as a junior?
Yeah, it changed a little. Really just helping out the freshmen and getting them going, and the sophomores too. Just being an upperclassman now, I got to step up and be a leader.
Day before game day, new season gets underway. Kind of tell me what your feelings are right now.
I'm excited, man. I'm just ready to go. Ready for this Junction game. Hopefully we can get a win first game. Just good start to the season.
What do you remember about playing them last year?
They're just going to press the whole game. They're going to shoot a lot. They're going to play fast. They're really athletic. They're going to dunk.
Well, you can go down and do the same thing. That's talk about their pressure. How is it, Kyle? Maybe compared to some teams who like to press. There's different kinds of pressure and how you can do it.
Yeah, that's kind of what they do. They try to switch up what kind of press they're running. So, one possession, maybe they're on the ball, full court denying. And then, a couple of possessions later, maybe it's kind of a softer 2-2-1 press. So we've got to have the awareness and kind of recognize what press they're in. I would say it's very active, and that's kind of what they live and die by is kind of getting you out of your game, forcing turnovers, kind of getting you frustrated. So we just got to maintain our composure and work together to beat the press. I wouldn't say it's necessarily the most disciplined. I think, when I think of teams that are really disciplined, I think of Hutch. Those guys, when they press, my goodness, they're really good at it. So we just got to all be on the same page, work together, realize that we are going to probably turn the ball over, but we got to limit those and hopefully keep it to single digits. And kind of bounce back if we do make some mistakes.
Okay, and you said, you get up tempo, you're going to play. It's going to lead to some opportunities once you get down there. So say tomorrow night, Carter, you're going down the court. Who do you want to see on a wing, and say it's on the wing? Who do you want to see over there that's open, that's going to be able to drain that thing?
I think our whole team can really shoot. Maddox, I like hitting him on the wing. Good jumper. Ben Nicholson, Parker Dix. They can all really shoot it. Braylon, Caden, Ian, the whole team can really shoot.
If I'm going to play you a game of pig, where are you going to hurt me at?
Anywhere.
Where's your favorite range at? We'll talk the perimeter first.
The wing, the corner, just pretty much, right side, left side.
He's going to shoot threes against you. I would take him inside. I would try to.
I've got a bad
take
shoulder right now.
I would take him inside. Maybe try to use the backboard. Maybe do some of those old school type shots.
What, behind the backboard and over the top? And down that they should be working on in practice with.
Yeah. He's got some range, and you asked him, some things that he's worked on. I think his range and just confidence. I think last year he was kind of proving himself, and this year I've noticed he's a little more confident. He doesn't have to prove like who he is, who he isn't. The guys know who he is, and being a coach's kid, he's always the first guy talking, and that stuff kind of rubs off on the other guys, and they start to figure it out. We kind of got a weird deal going with our pressure defense sometimes, but he kind of brings some of that energy that he probably has experienced his whole life. Growing up in a JUCO gym, which is good. I truly believe that a quiet gym is a loser's gym. And he kind of helps bring some of that energy, and it helps coming from the kids, because if I'm just like, come on, bring some energy, it's a little more meaningful coming from the guys.
Get Junction City tomorrow night, and then you go back down to Kingman. That'll be kind of cool if you're going back. Yeah,
that's it'll be familiar. I think a plus of that is we'll get 3 extra JV games too. So last year we kind of looked at. A lot of our freshmen only got to play 1 game before the break, so this will give some of those guys, maybe not all of them, 3 more games. And we look at, maybe some of the teams that the other guys in the WAC are playing, it'll give us a little better chance to maybe build some confidence. But with that being said, we play Sterling, who's a powerhouse, at their level, and it seems like they're always qualifying for state. So it's not going to be like a cakewalk by any means. Conway has produced multiple D1 athletes since. So, and they got a big guy. They got a couple of big guys. Sunrise will bring a team, and you never know who they're going to have. And ideally, we get to play Kingman. But the head coach there now, him and I are good friends, and we didn't necessarily want to be in the same pool. So hopefully, we can get them maybe in the championship game.
6-team tournament then? Is that the way it's lined up? And
two pools.
Okay, and the JVs get to play too.
Yeah, so the JV they'll play the same teams we play on Thursday and Friday, and then Saturday their schedule kind of depends on how we do. So they'll always play the game before us. So that gives us three more games and an opportunity for some of those young guys to develop and get better and like I said, build some confidence.
Then you get Larned and Emporia, I think, to close out first semesters. That's pretty good. Get 6 under your belt before you go to break?
Yeah, and I think Emporia will be a lot better this year. I know they got a new coach, and I know him. He was the head coach at Cheney for a while, and he's been successful. He's been in the state tournament. I would probably put a little bit of money on the fact that they're going to run a 1-3-1. That's kind of his bread and butter. And when I think about the 1-3-1, I didn't mention Haven. Haven being in the Kingman tournament, their coach Perry Moore. Got a lot of respect for him.
Speaking of 1-3-1, yeah.
Yeah, and that's his backbone too. A really good coach and a guy that I've kind of built a relationship over the years and somebody that I look up to, and we might get a chance to play them as well.
Okay, just tomorrow night, Junction City. What are your thoughts right now, Kyle?
I think we gotta play 4 quarters. I think last year we were in the game for 3+ quarters, and then late maybe we ran out a little bit of gas, started turning the ball over, and like Carter was saying, that's when they kind of leak out and get some of those dunks and start getting excited, and we kind of lost some confidence. So we've got to keep it together for 4 quarters, have confidence in each other, and we got to shoot the ball pretty well.
Okay, looking forward to it. Panthers and Junction City tomorrow night in Junction City. Carter, looking forward to seeing you in action, and good luck tomorrow night.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Okay, guys, thanks for coming in today on Sports Day. We're going to take a break. More of the show. We'll hear a little pregame Big 12 championship audio. Kris Klieman coming up here on the program.
Hey everyone, this is Cole Ryan, voice of the Barton Cougars. Attending sporting events for Barton Community College is great, but did you know you can support the athletic teams even further by getting involved with the Cougar Booster Club? The Boosters help with fundraising for equipment and facility upgrades to give Barton athletes every opportunity to keep succeeding at the regional and national levels. Join the Cougar Booster Club as an individual or business. Call 620-792-9377. Become a booster today. Go Cougars.
Some of us were born to farm. Some diesels, like Cenex Premium Diesel, were born to fuel. Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster comes with a more complete additive package for a more complete burn to reduce particulate matter and keep filters cleaner for longer. Fuel your equipment like a pro with Cenex Ruby Fieldmaster and leave typical number 2 diesel to the amateurs. Cenex Premium Diesel. Diesel that doesn't mess around.
Contact American Plains Co-op in Great Bend, your certified Cenex distributor today.
Did you know you may be at risk of vision loss even if you're not experiencing physical symptoms? Heritage for the Blind recommends you prevent blindness by scheduling a vision screening today.
If you own an old or unwanted car, donate it today to Heritage for the Blind. Just call 1-800-631-0371. Pickup is free and your donation is tax deductible. Heritage for the Blind is an IRS-recognized nonprofit organization that helps promote eye health and aids the blind and visually impaired. They accept cars, vans, and trucks. It doesn't matter if your vehicle runs or not. It'll be towed away for free. Call right now to donate your car, and as a special thank you for calling, you'll get a free 3-day vacation voucher to many exciting locations. Call Heritage for the Blind right now. Call 1-800-631-0371. Donating is easy, and your vehicle is towed away for free. Call now, 1-800-631-0371. That's 1-800-631-0371.
Sports Day is presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department. Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM.
Steve Webster back with you in the Mayo Money Management Studios here today on this Thursday as we get set to start high school basketball. Hayes City Shootout getting underway tonight. Some other tournaments going on. As far as locally on our broadcast games tomorrow night, we'll have Great Bend and Junction City live from the new high school at Junction City. They've got a great-looking football field. I want to see what the inside of their new gym looks like. We'll get a good look at it. Pre-game 5:45 tomorrow in B104.3 The Point. I'll be there. Aaron Clark will be my statistician tomorrow night. 5:45 pre-game there. Mike Hesher will be out in Scott City tomorrow night. Hoisington and Scott City as the Cardinals start their season. 5:45 on 100.7 Eagle Country. And Gary Wagner and Buddy Taylor with a call for Larned tomorrow night as they'll open their season at home against the Pratt Greenbacks. Always a big rivalry game to start the year. 5:45 pregame on Hits 106.9. Okay, Kansas State, TCU rematch, this time for the Big 12 championship in Arlington at AT&T Stadium coming up on Saturday. I want to remind you, you can hear that game right here on KVGB, coverage from ESPN. It starts early as far as the coverage goes, 10 a.m. on Saturday, and we'll bring you that ball game. Kris Klieman talking to the media this week about his thoughts on getting into the championship game and a heck of a season the Wildcats have put together.
How do you think all the cosmic cash gets to Earth? It's the Kansas.
Well, we'll get to that here in just a moment. That was the wrong audio here. Okay, so that's going to be coming up. We'll also have a couple other championship games, including the Pac-12 championship game. That'll be tomorrow night. We'll start coverage at 6, and that's Utah and USC. And then the ACC championship game on Saturday night, coverage beginning at 6, and that will be Clemson and North Carolina. Okay, Kris Klieman, press conference this week.
A lot of distractions last week, a lot of potential distractions, whether it would be senior day, last game at home, to the weather, to playing your rival, all those things. And I thought our guys did a really good job of blocking out as much of the outside noise as they could and focus on just playing a really good game against a much improved, really good Kansas team. And I thought there was some ups and downs, but for the most part, I thought our kids handled everything really well, and we found a way to get a pretty good win in front of a great crowd. That was a phenomenal crowd. I thought it was we've had great crowds all year, and that one would be hard to top, as loud as they were from the opening kickoff to the very end, to seeing our players go and engage with the fans afterwards. I thought it was a great crowd and can't thank them enough.
Coach, with your history in the FCS level, and I think it might have happened once in K-State's history, playing the same team twice in the season, how does that change your preparation for that team?
We've done that an awful lot, and you still look at the most recent body of work. For us, it was 6 games, then played them, and we had a plan for those 6 games. And then you got to look at the next 6 games. You got to see what worked, what didn't work. You don't want to reinvent the wheel in any respect, because there's a reason why we're here. There's a reason why they are here. Yeah, you've got to make some adjustments to the plan and offense, defense, and teams. It's going to still come down to a lot of one-on-one matchups, but try not to make too much of it, other than you and our players, their players know who they're going against. But schematically, you still have to do what your kids know.
How far has your offense come or evolved since that second half at TCU where it was such a struggle for Will and the offense?
Yeah, a couple things. We didn't see the ball very much because we couldn't get it back from them. But I just think they're so much more comfortable, being that Will's played a handful of games now and taken, the majority of the reps with the ones for the last 3+ weeks. I think he's confident. I think the players are confident in him, and I'm excited to see, as this week unfolds, some of the things that we come up with, some of the wrinkles maybe off of a specific look to what we do really well, and still comes down to getting the ball into our playmakers' hands.
Teams often take the character of their quarterback throughout the team. What does TCU reflect Max Duggan's toughness and tenacity?
Yeah, and you talk about a team that has overcome an awful lot of adversity as well. They've had a number of games where it came down to the last possession or two, and they found a way, whether it was on offense or on defense. The defensive effort they put out against Texas was phenomenal, to the last drive against Baylor where they have to have a hurry-up field goal to win it. You can tell he's the leader of the football team. I'm sure they got a bunch, but just really impressed with him because he's such a competitor.
You're getting kind of thin at safety. I think we saw Max Marsh play a little bit even last Saturday. Some of that, too, I think you were trying to pace Steiger's eligibility to keep his red shirt. Did that play into it?
Yep, a little bit of everything. That's all I can say is a little bit of everything. Max has taken a lot more reps. Mashmeyer's probably taken a lot more reps than Kendre over the long body of work, because Kendre wasn't here for spring ball, missed a good chunk of the summer, was here for fall camp, played a couple of different positions. We were still learning about him, trying to hold his shirt if we could, and that was a unique game plan last week. KU does an awful lot of stuff with some motions and things that maybe Max and Mash had seen a lot more than Kendre. Everybody's on the table to play this week. They have to be. We'll mix and match as best we can back there. Again, the positive thing is we didn't lose anybody from the game against KU, so everybody should be available.
I think this was kind of the timetable maybe you were expecting to maybe get Adrian back. Yeah. What's his status?
Will's going to be the guy, and Adrian has helped us get to this moment without question because of his body of work that he's done in the first half of the season. There's an outside chance that he could be available this week. We'll learn probably more Wednesday and Thursday, and if he is, like I said, Will be the guy, but we've got to have a package or something for Adrian just because of the unique skill set that he does have.
I know we'll can't talk about the specifics for another few weeks, but just how much of a recruiting jolt in general have you received from this late surge down the stretch?
We'll find out, I think, in another couple weeks. But there's so many things going on in the landscape of college football that you don't realize the jolts you're going to see in the next 3 weeks.
Coach, I want to ask you about Will. He talked about after the game on Saturday. He talked to the guys after the TCU game and said, we feel like we're going to see these guys again. Have you kind of felt that attitude permeate throughout the locker room?
No. That's more of a player deal, I'm guessing. We lost that game, and we had to find ways to continue to get better and try to win each week because we had a tough schedule still ahead of us. And I know as coaches we never had that cross our minds. We were trying to get ready for each upcoming opponent, and once again, if you try to look ahead, you're going to get knocked off and beat. And so never came across my mind. I'm sure the guys talk about a lot of things, and it never really entered my mind, honestly, until after the West Virginia game, where it was, okay, we know if we win, who the opponent's going to be. Even though TCU had probably secured their spot long ago, we never even thought about that stuff. So then at least we could start some advanced scouting on them.
And then when you think about that game against TCU, you guys obviously had a lot of injuries. Kind of taking time to reflect on it, did that maybe help your depth in the long run?
It could have. There's a lot of guys that, as you watch the tape, that played, especially on defense, that either are not playing right now or helping us on special teams. You forget we played 3 quarterbacks that game. I mean, when I was going back and looking at it, forgot that Rubes even got in there. But no, that was a physical game. We lost some bodies, but they came back and beat us. I mean, that we can say all we want about we didn't do this or didn't do that. Give TCU credit. They came back from being down and stayed the course and stayed in the fight and found a way to get ahead and win the ball game. And we have to find ways to finish plays, finish drives, get off the field on defense. That's the biggest thing that I think that disappointed us, is we couldn't get off the field on defense. Thus, our offense just never had the ball much in that second half.
In what ways would you say TCU is maybe different now than they were when you guys first played them?
They're better. I hope we're better for going through the games that we have. After. Even though we suffered one loss after that, we had some really good road wins that in tough places to win. And so I think our guys gained some confidence there, but I know they're better. They've had tough games. It's not like, you take this last week where they got after Iowa State, exception of that, they had hard-fought wins. And when you have those games, it makes you better, because you got to find ways when maybe it's not going right all the time, whether it was them playing Texas Tech to playing Baylor to playing Texas. I mean, it's coming down West Virginia. All those were battles, and same with us. Just finding a way to win, it makes you better, makes your guys feel more confident when the game gets in the fourth quarter that you have a chance to win.
Chris, have you been able to put a finger on why the defense has been better in the second half in the last 2 games than the first half?
A couple things. One, scripting of offensive plays, I think, is really good by everybody in the league, and seeing what you're going to get, seeing the pictures of how we're going to attack somebody, and that as well as, especially late in the season, it's hard to replicate speed in practice. It's hard to replicate the same pictures, even though, okay, this is where it's going to be and this is the play you're going to see. But even our scout team guys are kind of beat up and tired, as well as our older guys that are playing, and so you just don't get that. It takes a while probably to understand the speed of the game and get used to the speed of the game. And this week was no different. And we've had a few of those where it takes us a while to get a handle on the speed of the game.
Their running back gave you some fits in the first game. What makes him so good?
Yeah, he's a physical, hard runner that doesn't come down with arm tackles. We did not wrap up very well. We got to get more bodies to the football. We've got to use cup principles and know where you can miss so that we keep him within that cup. He's a terrific running back. I was so impressed with him. We had some plays we were watching today, and it's like, okay, great, it's 2nd and 8. Nope, it's 2nd and 4 because he made a guy miss or ran through an arm tackle or dragged a guy for another 3 yards. I think he's one of the best backs in the league without question.
I also want to ask one more about Ty. What strikes me as unique about him is that every time you've added something to his plate, he seems to get better, not only at kicking, he seems to be better at field goals, seems to be better at punting. Why do you think he keeps getting better the more you put on his plate?
Partly because he wants that pressure. He wants that extra responsibility. And, he's such a competitor. he's such a competitor. He competes in the winter conditioning, the summer conditioning against all the other guys as well as anybody because he's a really good athlete. You just watch him on kickoff, man. He's in the mix. He's hoping it pops so he can make a tackle because he just likes doing that stuff. And I just think he's an extreme competitor for starters, as well as he's kicking the ball with so much confidence.
We've talked about DJ Giddens a decent amount and his impact. I understand he doesn't say too much. He just kind of goes to work. Do you feel like you know him pretty well, or what can you tell us if Wildcat fans want to know more about who DJ Giddens is? A
physical runner that is really, he is quiet, but he's so smart. He picks things up very well. He's learned from Deuce. He's got really good vision, and he's another guy that it's hard to bring him down with an arm tackle. And you saw late in that game last week where he'd maybe get hit for a 2 or 3 yard gain, and he was dragging people to get 6 or 7. Those are huge, impactful plays to get us in a second and short rather than a second and long. He's a great teammate. He works his tail off, doesn't say much, and I think he's a real humble guy, but he's excited about the opportunities that he's getting, and he's making the most of those for sure.
It was like a full circle moment at all that you're back in AT&T Stadium where you were for media days, kind of talking about the big hopes for the season months ago, and now you're back in the same place?
Yeah, haven't really thought about that. You're right. The fact that we were down there, I think we collectively as a team have leaned on our experience of being there to start 2021 more so than leaning on the media day. I think it's, our kids, a lot of them have been in that environment. They know, what the stadium's like now. They know what the noise factor is going to be. They know the sidelines. They know the locker room, the layout. They know how we're going to bust into it. I think those things are things that we won't be in awe of. And part of the reason why in 2021 we did a walkthrough there on Friday before we played Stanford, because I didn't want guys to come in and just look around. Now, we have a handful of guys that have not been there, but the majority of our guys were either playing or on the trip, and I think that really gives them some comfort.
Is there something you feel like you guys, maybe underrated, or something that surprised you about TCU the first time around that you feel like you'll be more prepared for the second?
There's nothing really. I know how good a football team they are. They have they're offensively, defensively, special teams, collectively, they're the fastest team we've played. They're the fastest team we've played all 3 phases, whether it's a return guy that has had a bunch of big plays, to the wide receivers, to the running back, to the defensive guys that are playing really fast. They're playing with confidence, but I think their overall team speed's really good.
And then I know you talked about ways that you felt like TCU has improved since then. What are some ways, offensively, defensively, special teams, that you feel like you guys have improved since TCU?
Special teams were much improved from a coverage standpoint, and Ty's a big part of that in how he's kicking the football, as well as a lot of those guys that were playing early on. Maybe are 6-7 games into running down on kickoff and running on punt, that they feel more comfortable. Malik and Phil can make some things happen in the return game. I know on offense, Ben Sennett has really helped that production on offense. All 3 wide receivers, I think, are all productive. DJ, as everybody knows, with Deuce, and Will feeling comfortable getting the ball around. We didn't have Daniel Green in the second half and probably some of the third quarter in that game. Khalid didn't get to finish the game. Now we had Kobe Savage and Sincere Mason that we don't have, and so there's a wash there. But it's going to come down to, can we win some of these one-on-one matchups, because we didn't win enough one-on-one matchups last October, especially in the second half.
How would you judge the 12-game efficiency of the offensive line?
Really good. This is a really good league with most teams, and we're one of them, are really strong on the defensive front. So you're not going against guys that are a team that's really good in the secondary or really good at linebacker and not very good up front. Everybody in our league has difference makers on the defensive line that really can wreck a game, and TCU's no different. And just the way those guys have battled every week, been so impressed. We've been able to have some success either running or throwing in all of our games, some success more on one side or the other, whether it's running or passing. But when you can have those 5 guys that have played so much together this year, there's great chemistry, there's great communication, and even the last week getting Line Gang and even Carver in there a little bit has helped.
Kris Klieman, K-State, TCU, coming up on Saturday. Sports Day will roll on after this.
From the Mayo Money Management Studios, 1590 KVGB, Great Bend, and 95.5 FM K238CK, Hoisington.
This Shop at Home for the Holidays $10,000 shopping spree. Today we're at Just Say It Though. At 19th and Washington and Great Bend, you can stop in before 5 o'clock, scan the QR code, and get yourself qualified. We're at the time of the year where we are out looking for great gift ideas, and Just Say It Though has unique gift shopping offering handcrafted gifts, decor, cards, and more. Stop in and check things off your Christmas shopping list. They've got great gift ideas for somebody on your shopping list, or you could get something for yourself. You can visit with Kristen while you're out browsing the store today and find a nice personalized gift for somebody. One-of-a-kind gifts just in time for Christmas. Kristen can personalize anything from cards, home decor, mugs, and so much more. Kristen also just finished up with Christmas ornaments, so be sure to check those out as well as all their holiday decor. Stop in before 5 o'clock today, scan the QR code, and get yourself qualified for the Shop at Home for the Holidays $10,000 shopping spree presented by Bauer Computers and Mater Plumbing, Heating and Air, your Bryant dealer. Good luck.
Let technology bring you closer this holiday season to loved ones near and far. With unlimited data as low as $25 a month, you can get the phone you want with the features you need from the best people. Next Tech Wireless, keeping Kansans connected.
Learn the skills you need to get started in a new career in as little as 1 semester with Barton Community College's workforce training programs. Get real-world experience in fields like carpentry, natural gas, plumbing, scales tech, and welding. You can earn money while you go to school because most classes leave you with plenty of time for a part-time job or apprenticeship. Classes begin January 10th. Sign up today and start your new career. Visit GoBarton.com to get started.
Venture Corporation is a homegrown company with almost 50 years of experience in asphalt, paving, and construction. They have quite a few jobs scheduled for the new year, and they need equipment operators, mechanics, and CDL drivers. Venture offers many benefits, including 401k and Blue Cross Blue Shield health insurance. Call Leslie for all the details. Work for a family-owned and family-oriented company that is here today and will be here in the future. Venture Corporation, South Highway 281, Great Bend, is an equal opportunity employer.
It's Sports Day on 1590 KVGB and 95.5 FM. Presented by Barton Community College and the Cougar Athletic Department.
We just got to get the week over, Hesh.
That's next week is tournament week, though, in basketball. So
that's okay. You're going to Larned, right?
I will be going to Yes, I will be going to Larned. I won't say what I normally say.
The Katy Classic.
The Katy Classic, yes, sir.
Boys will be playing on Tuesday. Larned will be playing on Monday.
That is correct.
Boys and girls.
Lots of basketball.
Bend Panthers headed to Kingman.
They use both gyms in Larned for this now. They didn't before.
Oh, yeah. You won't even. Yeah. When was the last time you were in Larned High School Gymnasium?
5th or 6th place game a couple of years, or 9 or 10 years ago.
Oh, yeah. That was before they raised the ceiling and everything. Put new lights in there.
Oh, yes.
You won't recognize the place.
I grew up in there.